What's going on, folks? Welcome to another episode of This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. This is episode 81. My name, as always, the greatest of all time, the best in the world, but more importantly, the owner of the world, Brandon the Franchise Buck, coming at you once again on a beautiful Kansas City night, day, afternoon, wherever you may be, wherever you are. I know that we have people on the other side of the world that are watching. That's probably nighttime right now. And then eventually about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be getting a notification on my phone that tells me that they're going to be watching said show. This is always great. I always love coming here every single week. Of course, you can find us on the social media platforms such as the Twitter and on the Gram and on the Book of Face, on the TikTok and on the YouTube. If you're watching YouTube right now, you're watching me live. You're watching my face that was made for radio on IE Sports Radio. Also go to iesportsradio.com/this is KC Sports. IE Sports Radio is also available on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, all of that good jazz. And then, of course, we have to pay tribute to the people that pay our bills, that we pay their bills. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, as well as Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You can order at IESR Sports or IESportsRadio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And then, of course, we've got the newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Get rawnutrition.com. Use promo code IESR for 10% off. And of course, once again, we have got to let us talk to the people. Thank you for letting us live your world in your world, sir. I love it. I love interacting with you guys. You'll float too. I love the username. I really honestly do. Folks, we're going to be taking a very quick commercial break. We got to pay our bills. We got to keep the lights on. We got to do all that jazz. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, because Brandon actually got stuff done for this week's show, we're going to be talking about Sporting KC. We're going to be talking about the Kansas City Royals. And then, of course, as always, we've got to talk about the villains of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. And we got to be talking about what is going on this coming Sunday in Nolens, if you will. So with that being said, we will be right back, folks. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I'm coming right back. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm. single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of This is KC Sports, episode 81. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, as always, every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. My name is Brandon the Franchise Buck, the greatest of all time, the best in the world, but more importantly, the owner of the world. Gorgeous day today in the O-Town of Kansas City. And then tomorrow it's supposed to drop down to the 30s. Like, what is going on? You know, there's this meme out there for the Midwestern people, right? And it basically says, oh, yeah, January going into February. Oh, we're getting to spring. Just kidding. Just kidding. Because we're actually in second winter. We're in second winter starting tomorrow. And it's going to be in the 40s and all of that other jazz and this and that and what have you. I have my cat that's like looking all dazed and confused because the room was just vacuumed and we have the sunlight coming through the window. Holy nuts, guys. It has been a week. Let me tell you, I told you that my beard was artificial, and now y'all are seeing, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, y'all are seeing that the grays are coming on in. When I tell you it's been a week because this was naturally black, and now the grays and the whites are coming on out. I'm all over the place today. I'm all over the place, but that's fine. It's going to be a great show today. It is Monday. It's February 3rd. It's the day after the Royal Rumble. So for you wrestling fans out there, if you got a chance to watch the Royal Rumble, I did kind of sort of here in between. I got some highlights after I came home from work and this and that. And I'm going to let the SoCal Saint talk about that. I wanted to let him talk about the whole wrestling thing, but I'm not 100% satisfied with the results, but that's from a guy who's just a fan who used to be in the ring. Now he's not because he's taking care of the Kansas City Crazies like he was born to do, as it was probably just dropped in my in my lap here. And we just got the mail. I just got the notification. So I'm all over the place. Let's get down to business, folks. Let's get down to business. First and foremost, as always, just a friendly little reminder, you can find us on the Twitter and on the Gram and on the Book of Face and on the TikTok and on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you're watching me live with my face that was made for radio on IE Sports Radio. Of course, you can go to our actual website, www.iesportsradio.com/this is KC Sports. Get yourself some merch. Get yourself, check out the bios and this and that. It's all fun and dandy. We also have a crud ton of other shows other than me. This isn't just Kansas City IESR. This is the brand IESR, and then you have me, as well as like 20, 30 other stations and whatnot that are going on all over the place. And all this week, in fact, we have like 4 or 5 shows later on in the day of Monday. Oh, geez Louise, where do I start? Where do I begin? I forgot the most important thing. The most important thing. Follow us specifically on the Twitter at thisisKC_IESR. And then, of course, you can follow me at Real Franchise. I love interacting with people. I love interacting with new people. I don't recognize who this person is because typically I'll call them by their name, but You'll Float Too is the username. Laughing out loud, thank you for letting us live in your world, sir. I kind of have an idea of who it might be, but you never know. And you know what they say about people that assume, what are you going to do here? What are you going to do? All right, first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's talk about the Kansas City Royals. Now, I have been, like I told you, this week has been a week, okay? It's been a week. And when I say it's been a week, it's been a week. But when it comes right down to it, I want to talk about Kansas City Royals, the boys in blue. What have they been doing this offseason? What have they been doing since October? Well, if you're a Kansas City Royals fan, you would assume that maybe they're trying to do a rebuilding year. We've heard the same song and dance since the George Brett days. And, I've said this before, and I'll say this again, especially with people in the past. If you're a Kansas City sports anything, you're just used to being defeated. That's just how it is. Now, in the last 7 years, we have been absolutely blessed. Basically, actually, since 2014, 2015, when the Royals went back-to-back to the World Series and they finally won against the New York Mets. That was a game. That was something that I will live for the rest of my life. And anybody who knows me knows this. And if you don't know, now you're going to know. Kansas City sports has always been a big thing in my life. Why? It's not just because I'm a guy. It's not just because of the fact it's sports. It's because of what they mean to me personally. I think anybody who has been following the show knows that I was born in a different country for like 2 minutes and whatnot. I was adopted and I was picked up in Queens, New York. We traveled all the way down to Missouri. We stayed there for a minute, and then we eventually made our way to Olathe, Kansas, where I basically lived for the majority of my life up until I went down to Pittsburgh, Kansas to do college, and then I came back, and now here we are back in the city. And it wasn't just because of the fact that this is Kansas City, that this is the sports team. You're from Kansas City, so you're supposed to, support your team, right? No, it wasn't even just about that. Even though whenever I play MLB or whenever I play hockey, well, okay, other than hockey, because I'm always the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, but when I play MLB or when I play football or whatever the case may be, if I'm not Kansas City something, I just feel awkward and I'm just all over the place. I'm just like, nah, this isn't it. This doesn't feel right? My grandfather actually passed down baseball to me. And what I mean by that is there would be times that my mom was working and there might have been a Royals game like on a Saturday, on a Wednesday, on a whatever day it was, and I just happened to be home. It's summertime, whatever. And Gramps would put it on Channel 5, or Channel 3, whatever it was back in the day. And we would watch Brian McRae. We would watch George Brett. We would watch the Royals and their struggles, their constant struggles against the Oakland Athletics and the Cleveland Indians, as they were back then. And he would always hype up also the New York Yankees versus the Royals, or the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Royals. And we gotta let this guy in here. Hello to our new followers and viewers and whatnot. This is Lucky. This is Lucky Boy. He's happy that it's sunny outside. We're gonna put him right back next to the windowsill here. Oh, jeez. But it's just one of those things, right? You learn as you go. My grandpa taught me about baseball, and then it became like a me and mom thing, and then mom eventually led me to football and this and that with the Kansas City Chiefs, with some much needed help from my third grade teacher, Mr. Packard, introducing me to the Kansas City Chiefs, because back in the day, over at Price Chopper, they used to have like the 8x10s, and they would be autographed. It was black and white. So Joe Montana, Marcus Allen, J.J. Bird, Neil Smith, Derek Thomas, Christian Okoye, Joe Valerio, Tim Grunhard. The list just goes on and on and on. He just had years beyond years beyond years of people that he got autographs from. And it was just one of those blessing times. I can't tell you how blessed I was with the people, whether they be my family or whether they be mentors or whatever the case may be, dropped sports to me, because then I got to research, and then I got to watch, and then I wanted to play baseball, and then I wanted to play football, and then I wanted to do this, and then I wanted to do that. And I think I exuberated what the normal kid does. It's like he might or might not be good at said sports, but as long as he's having fun, that's all that matters, right? So this is why I am excited, because although it will be the end of the season this coming Sunday between with the NFL altogether, but with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, but it starts a brand new chapter in the Boys in Blue with baseball. Let me just read you something here that I thought was just absolutely remarkable and gets me kind of pumped up. It's by Eric Truden. And I'm just going to kind of paraphrase a little bit, because there's a lot of stuff going on by, and we still have up until the top of the hour. We might even go past the top of the hour, depending on what's going on here. Of course, our big man, Ralph Calise. Good afternoon, franchise, my man. Closer and closer to that three-peat. Have a great show. Thank you so much, sir. We're going to be talking about that. I am nervous as all done get out. I don't know how I'm going to watch the game, if I'm even going to watch the game, whatever the case may be. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But back to topic here. The Kansas City Royals. Eric Truden. With power-hitting free agent Anthony Santander heading north of the border to join the Toronto Blue Jays, the Kansas City Royals just barely missed out on the big bat they've been looking for this winter. Trust me, we've been looking for the big bat, and I don't know why it's so hard. We just can't find that right charisma, right chemistry, whatever the case may be. It's annoying as a Royals fan. As relayed by Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic, the Royals made a 3-year, $66 million offer to Santander before he joined the Blue Jays on a deal that will surely be viewed as an overpay by the time all is said and done. Now, Kansas City Anything fans, you definitely understand the overpay, this and that. We discussed it with Tyreek last season or 2 seasons ago, how it was just an overpay. He wanted to be on the beach, and now he's obviously asking for a release, or at least hinting to it, or whatever the case may be, for a very short period of time, like 24 hours. Tyreek was doing a Antonio Brown with his face on Antonio Brown's body when he basically left mid-game with Tampa Bay against, I want to say, the Jets. It was what it was. And then you have the overpay with other people. Does anybody remember Johnny Damon and how he went to the Red Sox? I mean, that was an overkill. That was an overpay. And look at what happened to him, Rosenthal went on to mention that the Royals are likely to finish off their offseason, but bringing aboard a player like Randall Krutchik or Adam Duvall to be a platoon bat in the outfield. Now, let me go on about here, and I'll discuss this here in a second. Each comes with their fair share of question marks, but they also got the potential to be a legitimate contributors in limited roles. It also sounds like Michael Garcia, the Royals' slick fielding infielder, is going to get some time in the center field in the upcoming season. That will be great. That would be great to have Garcia in the center field. I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. To date, his professional experience in the outfield has consisted of just 1.2 innings in the right field. He logged this past season, taking over at the position as a defensive replacement. Now, the plan is for Kyle Isbell to remain the club's everyday center fielder against right-handed pitching, with Garcia forming the other side of the platoon. Isbell, a left-handed bat, hit just .161 against Southpaws this past season with a dreadful .50 OPS. Garcia's 2.226 average and .636 OPS isn't exactly star caliber, but it's certainly an improvement. What can I say about Michael Garcia? Michael Garcia, just his average stats right here. He's done 157 games played, right? He's done 133 hits. Not too bad. You know, I'd like for it to be a little bit higher, but what are you going to do, right? It's baseball. It's very unpredictable. I think people forget, like, you know, you hit A, you hit A on your game controller, it's going to be a fastball. You hit B, it might be a slider. It might be a curve, you know? So it's very unpredictable. You got to be really just aware, you know, 1000%. It's kind of like, you know, what was taught to me when I was in security. You know, it doesn't matter what you do, you know, you've got to be aware. You've just got to know, you know, muscle memory, just awareness, just quick thinking, whatever, because if you don't, then boy, howdy's going to bite you on your ass and you're going to get a phone call about it. 575 at bats, .231 batting average, 84 runs. Not bad at all, you know? For as long as he's been playing at 24 years old, not bad. 7 home runs, 58 RBIs, 27 doubles, 5 triples. You know, it could be worse. It really could be worse, but it's not. And the kid is only 24. He's 24 years old. He's got a longevity of time of his MLB career. Now, here's another thing, as I take a little sippy cup from the non-advertised Diet Dr. Pepper. Thank you, Mrs. Franchise. The fact of the matter is this, and look, look, he is just beelined outside. What is going on there, Lux? I don't know. You're not listening to that. You're watching the squirrels outside. What does that mean for Kansas City? You know, we keep saying this, we keep hearing about this, we keep talking about this. It's a rebuilding year, it's a rebuilding year, it's a rebuilding year. We've been rebuilding since 2014, 2015. 2015, we just happened to luck out with an all-star crew. And that's the reason why that we went back-to-back at the World Series. We lost against the Giants, and then we came back and beat the Mets the following season. What does that mean for this year? What does that mean for this year? Well, first and foremost, your boy is definitely going to be going to a Royals game this season. I told myself after I moved back to the city that I was going to go to a Royals game, I was going to go to a Chiefs game, I was going to go to a sporting game, I was going to go to a current game. That hasn't happened yet, but now I think I'm in the right place in my life that I can actually make that happen. So, with that being said, what do I think is going to happen for the Royals? I think that they're going to put a lot of pressure on Kyle Isbell and Michael Garcia. Those guys, as well as Salvador Perez, are going to be your new leaders. And of course, we can't forget Bobby Witt Jr. I mean, duh. He is going to be this new generation's Eric Hosmer, if you will, or Mike Moustakas, whoever your favorite player is back in the day. You know, and then going forward, there's got to be that fine touch. You got to find that chemistry. You got to find that happy medium, especially with baseball, because if you just don't, you're just going to have a terrible season. And last year, with us having such a positive outlook into the season, and then making it to I believe it was the divisional round, was it? And then we lose. When we had a losing season the season prior, this could be a back-to-back kind of thing. Except now, maybe this season we're going to go further, since some of the youngsters know what it's like to be in the big spotlight, if you will, the big, you know, environment. Everybody's watching you. The world is watching, as Jim Ross used to say about WrestleMania broadcasts. Salvi has been there. The coaching staff has been there. A lot of the new kids, you know, not to compare apples to oranges here, but Bobby Witt did a Stephon Diggs when they lost, and they're watching. You know, he was just watching the other team celebrate. He was just kind of in the dugout, kind of like crossing his arms, just letting everything just salivate and just be like, you know what? I want this. I'm hungry. I want it. I want to feel what they feel. You know, I want that cap. I want, you know, all of that jazz. So I think that this is going to be the season for the Royals. Do I think we're going to win the World Series? I'll tell you in October. Until then, I'm just excited for baseball again. You tend to appreciate it more when you get older because there's nothing better than to be over at Kauffman Stadium with a hot dog or nachos, maybe a drink of choice, if you will, for those of you that do, and even those of you that don't. The fountain drinks are just as amazing. So, I mean, it's going to be a good deal. It's going to be a good season. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for spring, but that's just me being me. And yeah, so that being said, folks, we are going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about Sporting KC and then segueing over to the Kansas City Chiefs, what the boys need to do to succeed and get that possible three-peat as our good buddy Ralph Calise over in the Pittsburgh area. He's also part of the IESR family. We're going to be talking about exactly what the boys need to do in order to get that three-peat, if it's possible to obtain, especially against Barkley and Hurts with Philadelphia. I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about how my Saturday went, because I told you a couple of weeks ago, like, if there's things going on in the Kansas City area, I want to talk about it. I want to broadcast it. If you guys know something that I don't know, please comment in the comment section. I'll see it live. I'll broadcast it. As long as it's clean, I'll go ahead and post it so y'all are being shown live, and we'll go from there. But honestly, until that moment here in just a second, we're going to take another quick commercial break. And then we will be right back, and we're going to be talking about Sporting KC. We're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to be talking about what's happening over at Union Station because it was amazing. It was amazing. So, folks, stay tuned. We will be right back. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio. Stay tuned.
The roar of the crowd, the drama and pageantry, the adrenaline rush and decadence of the world of professional wrestling. Join yours truly, the SoCal Saint, for the best pro wrestling podcast going today, the IE Wrestling Show, exclusively on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us every Wednesday from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every Wednesday, the IE Wrestling Show. It's just too woo!
Everybody, this is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello everyone, my name is Daryl Kinsey Jr. and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile. Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of This is KC Sports, episode 81 of This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Brandon the Franchise Buck, the greatest of all time, the best in the world, but more importantly, the owner of the world. Let me tell you about my Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. I keep telling you guys that if there's something going around in the Kansas City area, you need to holler at me because I would love to talk about it. And guess what? I am so happy that my girlfriend was nice enough to allow me to join her over at Union Station in Kansas City. That is something fun. Now, for those of you who don't know what's going on, especially if you're outside of the Kansas City area or where the case may be, there is what's called the Chiefs Fan Zone going on. In fact, actually, yesterday, I'll just read you a little manuscript here. No pun intended for the, But join us yesterday, in Science City at Union Station for Chiefs-themed fun and special activities, including the return of fan favorite Baby Goats, which I saw. It was amazing. I was so disappointed that I couldn't take a picture because of the fact that the line was so long. It would have literally taken me forever and a day. And then I don't think my boss would appreciate the fact, like, hey, I'm not at work right now because I'm at Union Station because I'm getting ready to take a picture with a goat. She would have just absolutely ripped my ass about that for good reason, too. Including the return of fan favorite Baby Goats and Chiefs gear plus fun photo ops with Coach Reed and Taylor lookalikes, free collectible Mahomes Field Advantage poster for each family, and more. Basically, this is going on. So yesterday and Saturday, you had like a whole bunch of stuff going on, right? You had face paints. You had there's like a first down challenge, which is like this inflatable gimmick, and you just throw the football through the hole and what have you. There might have been some other things that I missed out on. That I didn't really pay attention to, but Nikki and I, we decided that we were going to take photo ops in front of like the Taylor poster and the Travis poster and the AFC Champs gimmick and what have you, and it was just fun, man. It was just really, really fun. And this is going on. The photo ops are happening for like the next 2 weeks or whatnot, but the actual events itself, and if you're watching this live, you see me doing the quotation marks, the actual events itself are going to be going from 10 a.m. until about 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. And I'm trying to get back to the actual schedule here because there's just a lot of fun stuff going on. The fan zone is open. The next let's see here. Is this it? Yes, it is. Our next Fan Zone Family Fun Day happens on Saturday, February 8th, with the return of Baby Goats and Chiefs gear, and an entire day of Chiefs-themed fun and special activities, all free to attend. Now, granted, this does not mean parking. So if you're going to be parking in the parking garage, which is literally right next door, make sure that you have a credit card or a debit card, whatever the case may be, because I do not believe they take cash. And go ahead and get ready to spend $12. $12, and I think that's like an all day thing too. So as soon as you're done over at Union Station, if you want to go somewhere and whatnot, you're still good to go. Double check on that because I don't really pay attention to parking. Once I'm done with the events, I'm done. Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure. Yep. So parking in Union Station's West Yards garage this weekend, this coming weekend. So the 8th, right, will be $12 paid upon entry. Pay one flat parking fee and stay all day. That's awesome, right? Let's go to this gimmick here. Let's go to the thing, and let me just give you a full throttle and whatnot. So from 10 to 3, you have the Baby Goat encounter. You have Chiefs themed face painting, first down, touchdown, pass challenge, touch a trophy. Guys, that was something. Back in the day, back in 2015, when the Royals were doing like their traveling World Series celebration, I got a chance to pose next to the World Series trophy, which I thought was awesome. And then Saturday, Nikki and I, we got a chance to pose with a replica Super Bowl trophy. And I look like a dad holding his newborn. Nikki's just kind of doing her thing, but yeah, it was great. You know, the photo ops are all day. So that's like from let's get an actual thing here. The Fan Zone Shopping Village, which is a rally house or a Kansas Sampler, whichever one you prefer. It's the same store, 10 to 6. And then 6:30 a.m. until 10:30 p.m. So that's the all day thing, right? You have the photo ops for Bourbon Street. They have this thing. I think it says three-peat or whatever, and it's dressed up in Bourbon Street colors. So the purple, the yellow, maybe black. You have a light tunnel. That's really fancy. It's like 3 or 4 rings that are getting from big to small, and then you get to be in the back. New Alpha Light signs. I don't know if I got pictured with that. Giant picture frame. Then we have the giant Chiefs letters. That was something too, because literally right behind you is this giant Chiefs flag. The giant Mahomes bobblehead. I saw that. There's a Taylor Swift thing. There's a thing where you're on this giant chair and you have Travis and Patrick right next to you holding either a flag or a sign that says, you know, champs or whatever the case may be. It's just really fun, guys. You should go out there and check it on out if you have time this weekend. I know I won't because, well, I'm going to be taking care of the Kansas City Crazies. But if you're not taking care of the Kansas City Crazies, which none of you should, and all of you should be behaving this week in case the Kansas City Chiefs win and get a three-peat, y'all need to go to Union Station and go check them on out and have fun with that. That's just going to be fun. Taryn Rodriguez, big-time supporter of the show. Good afternoon, franchise. Have a great show. Am I ready for Sunday? I'm going to talk to you about that here in just a second, Taryn, because I am losing track of time here. Let's talk a little bit about Sporting KC. I'm going to be talking about this. Ralph and Taryn, you guys have been, you know, on me about this, and I appreciate you guys. I really honestly do. I want to make sure that I get everything. I get my shit in, is what we say in the wrestling business here. Sporting KC, what's going on with that? This is another article from Sam Kovzan, you know, that I thought was really cool. I'm actually going to go ahead and just kind of paraphrase this, because this was another article I just saved. And I thought it was really well written, but there's a lot of repetitive stuff going on, so I'm just going to hold you all back on that. Let's see. Sporting KC announced today that the club has acquired 27-year-old Spanish midfielder Manu Garcia and 25-year-old Russian winger Shapi Salmanovu in transfers from the Greek aid Aris Thessaloniki. Say that 3 times fast. I'm not even going to try. Garcia joined Sporting as a designated player, signing a 3-year MLS contract through 2027 with a club option for 2028. Shapi has signed a 2-year MLS contract through 2026 with the club options in 27 and 28. Both players will occupy international spots on Sporting's roster pending receipt for their international transfer certificates and P1 visas. Garcia, let's talk about him for a second, has amassed 21 goals, 40 assists, and nearly 300 professional matches, playing in the top divisions of England, France, Netherlands, Spain, and Greece, while also representing the Spanish men's national team and the U16 through U21 youth national teams. That's something. That is something right here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, children of all ages, making her This Is KC Sports debut. You will probably know her as Mrs. Franchise. She's watching me upstairs. It's great. It's great. She knows that I get a little bit animated here, and so she likes to see me make a fool of myself on the screen, because I am making a fool of myself. It's crazy. I'm getting dehydrated. Have the non-advertised Diet Dr. Pepper. Here we go. Back to Manu. The attacking midfielder joined Sporting KC after spending the last 2.5 seasons at Aris and Super League Greece, where he was the club's record signing and had 4 goals during the first half of the 24-25 campaign. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, especially with how crappy the season has been for Sporting. It's just, what are you going to do, guys? Like I told you, this week was a week, and how my artificial black is gone in my beard, and now you're seeing grays, especially if you're watching me on YouTube right now. It is, oh my God. Like, ask Nikki. It's terrible. I'm looking like my cat. My cat's looking like me. You have the black, you have the gray, and then you have the whites. Like, what's going on here? Like father, like son. What are you going to do? But welcome to Kansas City Sports Anything. Really, what are you going to do? What is this? Let's talk about, or that was about Manu Garcia. Let's see. Let's just give an overview about the kid. Born Oviedo, Spain, Garcia developed as a youth at Astur CF and Sporting Gijón prior to joining the academy of European powerhouse Manchester City as a 16-year-old in the early 2014s. That's pretty awesome. He's 27 now, and he's he's 27 now, and he started when he was 16. That's a good time frame. I mean, in soccer world, you might be getting a little bit ancient here, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good so far. He rose from the U18 to U21 ranks before landing his first team debut on September 22nd, 2015, replacing Sergio Aguero in a League Cup victory at Sunderland. So what does all this mean? The kid is experienced. He is experienced, and he would be a great addition to Sporting KC, especially since a lot of players have either been traded or have retired, or whatever the case may be. After re-signing for Man City, Garcia was loaned to two clubs for 2016-17 season, newly promoted Spanish La Liga side Alaves and Dutch outfit NAC Breda. What does that mean? Just teams over in the Spanish world. Trying to find something that's a little bit more current here. In July 2019, Garcia transferred from Man City to Sporting Gijón on a club record transfer fee. He made 76 appearances for Gijón over the next two seasons, recording 4 goals and 11 assists before going on to loan to La Liga's Alaves in 21-22. So, you know, he's going to be 21. He's going to be number 21. Excuse me. He's 27 years old. He's going to be a midfielder, 5'7", 150 pounds. He's from Spain. The previous club that he was with was over in Greece. And then let's talk about the Russian here. Shapi Suleimanov developed in the FC Krasnodar Academy and broke into the club's first team as a 17-year-old in 2017. That's pretty big. Fast forward a little bit here. He spent the next 2 seasons on loan, basically being a part of the European League for 23-24. He's going to be number 93. He's going to be a forward. He's 25 years old, 5'7", 146 pounds. He's from Russia. His previous club was with Greece. So definitely we have people that know each other, that have worked together, that they know the chemistry of one another and this and that. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I continue to say that's a good thing. Why do I say that's a good thing? Because this last season was an absolute joke for Sporting KC. Like I've stated before, and I'll say again, if you're a Kansas City Anything fan, you're used to having your hopes and dreams just absolute shatter and die and collapse and burn to the ground. And that's what we've lived for years beyond years, even before soccer. No, I take that back, because there was the Kansas City Wizards, and that was just... for those of you that are about my age group and whatnot, for those of you that remember the Kansas City Wizards, now they had to use Arrowhead Stadium as their soccer field. They weren't good back then. It's kind of like back in the day for the Kansas City Blades that are now known as the Kansas City Mavericks that y'all can go to at Cable Dahmer in, Independence, Missouri. It's one of those things, right? It's one of those things. Like you have that rebuilding year, you have that reformation of the franchise, right? So instead of the Kansas City Wizards, they're now known as Sporting KC. Kansas City Current is in a completely wing of their own, and good for them. Good for the women of Kansas City and this and that. I accidentally went in, or I didn't go into, but I accidentally passed their stadium last year when I was working security for a different firm, and it's beautiful, guys. It's beautiful. That seeing it from the bridge just doesn't do it justice. The teal seats, the red, the field, the open stadium. If you guys are over at City Market in downtown Kansas City, make sure you just swing on by to the other side. of City Market from the main entrance, because then you'll be able to check out the stadium, and it's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm a stadium guy. You know, I remember back in the day when I think it was like college, NCAA, college football, and I was able to kind of mess around with the stadiums and this and that where I played, or what the stadium looked like and this and that. I'm just a stadium guy. Maybe it's also because of the fact that I should have gone to K-State and been an architect instead of gone to Pitt State and became a sports broadcaster. I don't know. But I've always had the creativity in my mind of like, this is how I want things to look. This is how I want things to be built. And then it just comes into real life. It's like, okay, this is pretty badass. What's the next thing that we can do here? So it's one of those things I get super, super excited about. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Folks, of course, follow us on the Twitter, on the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, you're watching me live on IE Sports Radio. Of course, check us out on our actual website, www.iesportsradio.com/this is KC Sports. Check out the bio. Get yourself some merch. Get yourself a hoodie. It's going to be a little bit chilly out in Kansas City. It's also available on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, all that good jazz for all of your podcasting needs. Check us on out. I did this the other day on Spotify. If you pull up on this is KC Sports, or no, excuse me, IESR, IE Sports Radio. And then you'll go through the stations and this and that. You'll find my little banner. This is KC Sports. If you're not constantly on YouTube, or if you happen to forget, but you're more of an audio person, you can check us on out. You can subscribe, and then every Monday or maybe the next day or whatever the case may be, it will be it'll be shown. You'll have that audio right there. So that's good stuff right there. Of course, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. I'm a beef jerky guy, so I can't wait to try this on out here pretty soon. The jerky that's on a whole other planet. Order here, planetjerky.net. That's some good stuff, especially if you are a Southern boy and you love your brisket. Boy, howdy. That is some good eatings right there. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off of their comfortable and aspiring gym wear, excuse me, and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. It doesn't matter if you're a man, it doesn't matter if you're a woman, it doesn't matter if you're a child, a teen, an elderly, it doesn't matter. Mental health is a humongous thing. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, being a dispatch officer and being in security for the majority of my time in Kansas City, I can tell you this much. Mental health is a big, big thing. It is something that keeps us focused. It keeps us sharp. It keeps us on our toes when we're on the field, doing officer things. It keeps us sharp when we are behind a monitor doing dispatch things, and as soon as it falters, everything else falters. So make sure you treat yourself right. Treat yourself, and if you need somebody to talk to, find somebody that you trust to talk to, or schedule an appointment. There's so many outlets out there for people with mental health difficulties and this and that. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's 2025, guys. Do what you do best to make yourself healthy and helpful. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Alongside, we're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and why we are the villains and what we have to do to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. That is going to be what makes or breaks Brandon. We might not have a show next week because I might be DED. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being absolutely extra right now. Folks, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold, have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you so much for joining us for the last roundabout of today's episode of episode 81. Follow us on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at IE Sports Radio. Of course, follow us and find us at iesportsradio.com/This is KC Sports. Of course, This is KC Sports is going to be on any type of your podcast for Apple, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, all that good jazz. You like listening to podcasts, you're not so much the visual person, that's perfectly fine because we're on those platforms. Oh my goodness gracious. Of course, we cannot forget our favorite people, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Order at planetjerky.net. As well as go and check out Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Order at iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And of course, our newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Get rawnutrition.com. Use promo code IESR for 10% off. And then, of course, on the Twitter, you can follow us at thisisKC_IESR, as well as me at Real Franchise. I love interacting with folks. I love interacting with people. Taryn, good afternoon. Have a great show. Are you ready for Sunday? Ralph Calise, good afternoon, Franchise. My man, closer and closer to a three-peat. Have a great show. And of course, I'm assuming, because I don't have an identity of this person, because typically I do, but since I don't, you'll float too with a profile picture of it. Thank you for letting us live in your world, sir. I appreciate that. And of course, the one and only Nikki V, my heart and soul, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Brandon Buck and the Kansas City Chiefs. What are we going to do against Philadelphia? We have got a battle against Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. And of course, Coach Nick, I always mispronounce his name, so I'm not even going to. For anybody who's a Philadelphia fan, I'm not going to ring your ears by ruining his last name. I know it's probably easy peasy, but I'm not even going to go there here. He knows what we do. It's the same difference as San Francisco. They knew what we did. However, that game obviously came into our favor. We've taken on the Eagles when Jason Kelce was still a part of the team as the center. And, I mean, even though that was a back and forth, it was just one of those things. It was one of those things. It was against a team that I'm familiar with, but I wasn't too familiar with. And then more so because of the fact, it's like I told y'all, when it comes to, any video game or whatever the case may be, I've got to be Kansas City something, because if I'm not, it just feels wrong. It feels absolutely wrong. I'm not too much of a fan of these things because, as we've proven with Buffalo, we were the actual underdogs and we won. And I believe there's maybe a 3 or 4% differential between Buffalo and Kansas City last week and whatnot, or 2 weeks ago, I should say. Now they're saying there's a 53% chance to a 47% chance that the Chiefs are going to win. I don't pay attention to that. It is completely AI generated. They might have some votes here and there. As for anybody that's been watching ESPN, it seems like Nick Wright is the only one that's actually on our side, because everybody else just wants to see the Chiefs lose. But there's so many people that want to see the Chiefs win simply because of the fact it's history making. It's history making. Let's just go down the line here. Even though the fact that the Chiefs are slightly favored to defeat the Eagles at Super Bowl 59, let's talk about this here. Let's talk about the reason why people hate the Chiefs. People hate the Chiefs because of the fact that they think that they're the same song and dance story that has just been repeated. These are the same people that say that Taylor Swift is being shoved down their throats. When actuality, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taylor Swift is literally shown in a 3.5-hour broadcast 30 seconds of your life. That's 30 seconds out of 3 hours and 30 minutes, not including commercial time and whatnot. Actually, no, I take that back, including commercial time. So save me the song and dance of Taylor's being shoved down our throats. Save me the song and dance that the Kansas City Chiefs are shoved down our throats. No. And I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be as obnoxious as Nick Wright. If you got a problem with it, maybe you need to tell your higher ups and this and that the team needs to do better. So then they can make it past the wild card, make it past the divisional round. When that happens, such as the Philadelphia Eagles, then you'll be able to make it to February in whatever location the Super Bowl is going to be. With that being said, though, please don't take what I'm saying as absolutely cocky. Trust me, if you have been a fan since 92, 93, and you have been a diehard fan ever since, you have every right to celebrate these last 7-8 years with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce and so forth, because we deserve it. And I'm censoring the extra word that I was getting ready to say. We deserve it. And just like any other team, just like New England, just like Los Angeles when they beat Cincinnati, just like the Giants way back in the day with Eli Manning and so forth and so forth and so forth. Just like Denver. I'll even say that. I can't believe I said that out loud, but I even said that. Even Denver deserved their time in the Super Bowl. But now it's Kansas City Chiefs time, and now they have something to do that nobody has ever done before. Now, I saw something that there was an article out there somewhere floating around that Green Bay Packers did this before championships were actually established in the NFL. Great, cool, swell, but now this is actually written in paper. This counts. It's kind of like in WWE when the people say there's a non-sanctioned match. The storyline says that this match is happening visibly, but on the record books, it never happened. That's the reason why nobody's including the Green Bay Packers and their three-peat that they did before the championship series started happening and this and that, whatever. So that being said, though, am I excited for it? You bet your ass I am. Am I excited for a possible three-peat? You bet your ass I am. Am I worried sick that we're going to lose? You bet your ass I am. Why? Because Philadelphia is a great team. They are a stoppable team. And the fact of the matter that they came back for a second year, even though there is obviously a gap between last year and 2 years ago and this and that. Elementary math there, Brandon. It's one of those things where it's just like, what do we do? What do we do to win? What do we have to do? We have to play backyard bullshit football. What do I mean by that? I mean that we have got to go out there. We've got to run it. And when one play falters, we've got to change things up. We've got to constantly change things up. We can't just be as repetitive as giving it to Kareem Hunt or Isaiah Pacheco all the time. They can only do so much. And the last thing that we really need as Kansas City Chiefs fans is to have them running so much that they are just absolutely tired. They're exhausted. They're on E, past E, et cetera, and they just are so burnt out that we might as well just grab the gurney and just, carry them off the field. It's a crazy thing. It's common sense, you would think, but it is a crazy thing. What do I say about this game, though? This game is going to be special. This game is going to be special for so many reasons. One, I am a huge fan of the Kelces, not just because of what they've done, not because of New Heights. It's because of the fact they're just a great family. They've got a great story. They've got a great background. You have the bad boy in Travis Kelce, and you have the poster child in Jason Kelce. And, Jason did his time and this and that. An old friend of mine, Darren Sproles, he played for the Eagles once upon a time in a faraway land before he retired. And it's an interesting organization. I can't really say the same about the fan base because of all the videos, but then also in the same sense, one bad apple doesn't automatically mean it's the entire tree. I'm fully aware of that because I'm almost certain. Actually, no. There's facts that there are some Kansas City Chiefs fans out there that are absolutely unbearable. I'm fully aware of that. It's just like any fan base, any sports team, whatever. You have that winning background. It's like, oh my God, we're going to win. People tell me all the time, like, Brandon, you think the Chiefs are going to win? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I would like for them to win. I would like for them to make history, but I can't really guarantee that they're going to win because I don't know. I don't know. They might just screw up. You know, Patrick might take a sack or take a hit and he might injure his ankle. He might injure his knee. He might injure his head. I don't know. I have a 2.5-year-old cat that is running amok right now because he's just as hyped about the Super Bowl this coming Sunday as Dad is. So, I mean, it's one of those things. What's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. But just like everybody else, if there's a will, there's a way. If I can't watch live, I will make sure that when I come home that night, that I will be watching it from the beginning to end, and I will be staying off of social media until maybe Monday at noon, so that I can digest everything. Anybody that knows me personally and is watching this, if anybody texts me any type of updates on Sunday, depending on the circumstances, I might be celebrating with you, or I might just absolutely annihilate you. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll cross the bridge when we get to it. It is 3:01. I could talk more about some things that are absolutely not Kansas City related. We have a great attendance right now with 55 people. Thank you guys so much. Please, if you are watching this live on YouTube, please don't be a stranger at all. Say hi. You know, I love interacting with people. I love talking to you guys. I love, seeing how basically, what I can do to make this show great. I absolutely love this. I love what I do. I love interacting with you guys. You guys are awesome, and it's not just the IESR family. It's everybody that gets to be a part of this. The numbers are growing as we go. I love this. I love the fact that we have such a following, and I can't proceed that enough. That my cat is getting into things that he does not need to be getting into right now. But once upon a time in a faraway land, when I started the show, or I was assisted with the show, we didn't have the following that we have right now. And then I had to take a leave of absence. We had a great man named Bishop who took over the show for a good while, at least, and definitely past COVID and all that jazz. And then it was this past summer, almost a year ago, that I returned. We had a good run, and then changes were made with the direction of this show. And now you got me. And sometimes you got Lucky, my cat. And the fact that we went from like 2 or 4 or 10 viewers of the show to not too long ago we had almost 300 people watching the show. That's just amazing, guys. And I can't say thank you enough. The people that aren't avid into sports, but they just like listening to me talk and ramble and this and that, I appreciate you. The people that interact in the chat rooms, I appreciate you guys. The people that ask me questions even off the air, just so that I have something to talk about, so I can educate some people or this and that, kind of like the Union Station. I definitely want to do that. In fact, since we are still live here, and I know I'm going past the hour, I can do that because it's not going to be until 4 o'clock when we actually have another show broadcast here. I want to show you probably my favorite picture of the weekend for those of you that are watching this live on YouTube. That is Mrs. Franchise and I holding a replica Super Bowl trophy. And as you can see, I kind of look like that proud dad and whatnot. I absolutely love that picture. It was a great weekend. It was much needed. It was a good break from life before I had to take care of the crazies and everything in between. That's just the that's just the life that I chose. But the fact of the matter is, I love interacting with Kansas City. I love visiting places in Kansas City that I've either passed a billion times, just haven't had the chance to really visit or do anything about. And I like discovering things that I had no idea that it was even going on, which was Exhibit A over at Union Station. I thought I saw something. I wasn't 100% positive, and sure enough, Nikki cemented it with confirmation that stuff was going on. And it was kind of nice to see some of my fellow brothers and sisters and the officer life, if you will. I didn't get a chance to say hi to them. They were busy. There was a big crowd, so they had a job to do, and I wasn't going to distract them. But it was good to see the people that you kind of hear on the radio sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 3:05 in the afternoon. It's Monday. It is February 3 of 2025. There's really not a whole lot else to say. All I can say is this. There are good things happening in Kansas City. There are events going on in Kansas City. Make sure you check out anything Kansas City, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, even Instagram. They always advertise something. Definitely check out Union Station. Definitely check out like P&L. Sometimes they're doing events, obviously grown up stuff, 21 and up. But I mean, it's fun to venture out. It's fun to kind of do something different that you're not typically doing. That's kind of common sense, right? Like if you're constantly repeating yourself and doing the same thing over and over again, your life kind of gets boring. But if you kind of venture out and maybe get out of your comfort zone a little bit and maybe bring somebody or somebody's with you, I mean, it makes it even more fun. Like I stated, we're not going to have another show at least for it looks like for another couple of hours actually. So the Chi-Town Weekly is going to be at 7 p.m. tonight. The Extra Mile will also be at 7 p.m., as well as Set Point at 8 p.m. And then that will be it to end the day. We got we have three really great shows coming on up here. Chi-Town Weekly, The Extra Mile, and Set Point. And then, of course, every Monday, same back time, same back channel. You can check me on out at This Is KC Sports at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We try to entertain, we try and do this and that here and there, just because I'm the old professional wrestler. People like to hear what I have to say about professional wrestling. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to let SoCal Saint go ahead and take care of that on Wednesday because I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about the Royal Rumble as well as AEW, as well as what's going to happen tonight on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It's going to be a good show, as well as Set Point and Chi-Town Weekly and The Extra Mile. Those are all great shows as well. And definitely keep up with us on IESR on the socials and what have you. It's not just me. There are an abundance of people that take the time out of their day, pending personal or real life or families and this and that, to entertain you guys for at least an hour. I'm just in a good polished spot because my time starts and then there's not another show going on for a few more hours. So I get to entertain you guys for a little bit. And I also get distracted by my 2.5-year-old cat that is by the windowsill right now because he's enjoying feeling the sun a little bit. Why wouldn't you? It's February. Why wouldn't you like the sun? Follow us on the Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and of course YouTube at IE Sports Radio. You can also go directly to iesportsradio.com/This Is KC Sports, as well as IE Sports Radio is available on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. It's not just my show, it's everybody else's show. There's about 20 or 30 of us that are doing this thing. So depending the area or what your interests are, check them on out. It's great. It's great stuff. You'll be thoroughly entertained. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Order at planetjerky.net, as well as Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Order at iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Check them on out. It is a great, great company. Of course, big and foremost, IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 50% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. I've said this before, I'll say this again until I'm blue in the face. Mental health is a big, big, big thing, especially we're out of the holidays. I know it might be depressing for some people who won't be able to really celebrate with anybody for Valentine's Day. I completely understand how depressing that can get. Take care of your mental health. Just do it. Don't put it off like, oh, I have gotta do. No. Do it. Trust me. Valentine's Day isn't always about couples. It can be about family. It can be about friends. It can even just be, hey, you know what? I love myself, so I'm going to treat myself to those egg gimmicks, those chocolate eggs, um, with the creamy center and what have you. I used to do that all the time and whatnot. Maybe that's the reason why I had so many pimples when I was a teenager. I don't know. To be continued. Our newest sponsor, Raw Nutrition Supplements. GetRawNutrition.com. Use promo code IESR for 10% off. Always a good thing. Of course, last but not least, follow us. This is KC Sports _IESR. And then, of course, follow your boy at Real Franchise. I love interacting. I love talking to everybody and this and that. As you can see, it's 11 past the hour, and I'm still talking to you guys. With 61 people that are watching this right now, thank you so much. I can't not express this enough. Thank you to my team with IESR. Sometimes I forget to produce and this and that, and then they just save my ass, and it's all good and plenty. I appreciate the help. I appreciate the constant support. I know we've had some big changes in the last 2 months and what have you, but without these guys, I probably wouldn't have a show. I probably wouldn't have a graphic. I probably wouldn't have my own theme music. So I mean, that's just great. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is about that time that I go ahead and enjoy some sun and work on my permanent tan and what have you. Just check us out on this is KC _IESR. I'll keep up to date with what's going on with Kansas City Anything, whether it be some more stuff over at Union Station or maybe some other stuff over at P&L or surrounding areas, whatever the case may be. Holler at me, please do. If you're on Twitter, what have you, please go to one of our handles and let me know. Let me know what I can talk about. Let me know what you would be interested in. I'll be more than happy to talk about it. If it's Kansas City, something related, I will be more than happy to talk about it. Sometimes I break the rules and I talk about professional wrestling because of the fact of my background with professional wrestling, outside of being a fan, and we just go from there. So, I mean, I've got no problem talking to you guys live in the comment section, or if you want to inbox me or whatever the case may be. I would love to do it. I would love to do it. So, with that being said, folks, we're going to go ahead and end today's episode. All 61 of you, 62 of you that happen to stop on by and watch my show, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I plan on doing this next Monday, pending circumstances. As always, life does happen. But please do not be a stranger with me at all. I promise I don't bite. I'm a little bit obnoxious here and there, but I love talking to everybody. And with that being said, folks, this is the conclusion of episode 81 of This is KC Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio. As always, one last time, this is the greatest of all time, the best in the world, but more importantly, the only world brand of the franchise buck. And this is KC Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. And folks, until next time, catch you down the road.